Audio, we are live. There we go. All the buttons have been pressed. A little bit of a delay in the audio for you there, but as will be explained by the illness which has encapsulated my body. But of course, I couldn't let our regular viewers on a Sunday and of course on a Thursday down. And I'm here in body, not quite in mind or in spirit, but I'm here in body to bring you all the action from race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships this evening. We're at Hockenheim. We're 2 races in. This is going to be the 3rd race. And last week we saw thrills and spills all over the shop. And we are set to have more excitement this evening. So thank you for joining me. Apologies for the attire. As Johnny OneNote says, where is the suit? Well, it's been a very last minute decision to jump on the stream this evening. As you can probably hear in my voice, I'm not quite 100%, I'm afraid. But of course, we couldn't let you guys down. We will still want to bring you all the action where we can. And as I said, it's race 3 and race 2 was pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, thank you for joining us, Johnny OneNote. Hopefully the last minute notifications have gone out for everyone to come and join the stream now. Let me just put the last few out. But of course, you know, we're in the NoobGamerzLive studio. We're here and we're going to just get on with it, basically. I know that's not a very manly thing to do. Normally, when the man flu strikes, it is game over. But we're just going to get on with it and get stuck in and enjoy the racing we have ahead of us. And it looks like qualifying is loading up now. So we're going to press on straight into qualifying for the first race of the evening, which is of course the sprint race, 10 laps. We've got 15 turns, just over 2 miles of track around the Hockenheim National Circuit, and I can see everything loading up now. Light cloud is the weather that will be joining us this evening. But yeah, not much more to say than that. We're just waiting for us to kick off now, and here we go, basically. Let's bring you qualifying straight away now. Oh, so here we are. We are on board with T-Mac, who is terrible camera work there, just making his way out of the pit lane, as I said, on this Hockenheim national track. Thank you for joining us. Apologies for the late notifications on Facebook and on Twitter for when we're going live, but it was, as I said, a last minute decision to even stream tonight because of how I'm feeling. I've got my Lucozade, I've got my Vapor Rub, and we're all set for a night of racing. That's all you need when you're a bloke, isn't it? Don't need too much stuff to keep you going. But yeah, we're on board with T-Mac. The racers are getting themselves around the track now, warming up those tyres to see if they can put in one hot lap to see if they can get towards the top of the grid, because you know we're only 10 laps ahead of them in the sprint race. Qualifying is of course all important, and it will be a rush to see who is going to get up to the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Is there anyone here you're here to see in particular? Please let me know. We can jump on board with our camera and see how they're getting on around this track as T-Mac takes a little bit of a spin going around there. He is of course the championship leader after a win in the 2nd race last week, but you know, we will of course always expect big things from T-Mac, but as we've said, plenty of time. We have got lots and lots of high quality races amongst the grid this evening, so lots of competition. Tub Thumper says Lucozade, kill it with beer. Well, yes, you know, it is a little known fact, not many people know, so I don't actually drink of the alcohol variety, just lots of other bits and bobs, but Lucozade is the chosen tonic to get me through this evening, although I'm sure beer will probably do just as well. But if you have any race predictions for this evening based on what we can see so far on our screens, let me know. We'll see what you guys think. But last week, if you remember, around that Long Beach circuit was absolutely crazy. And of course the pit strategies in that second race are going to be really, really important. But lots of open road this evening. Obviously Long Beach last week, we were surrounded by walls, left, right and centre. So any little mistake you were punished. Whereas here it's a little bit more forgiving. So hopefully, although last week in fairness we didn't see a lot of carnage out on the track, we thought we'd see tyres spinning, wheels flailing all over the place. So, we did have the odd collision here and there, but generally I was impressed with how clean the racing was. So fair play to the racers from last week. They've done a really, really good job, and hopefully we can see some more clean racing this evening. But yeah, once again, thank you for joining us here on Noob Gamers Live. A little bit later than planned, but we are here with all the action, and we're going to bring you every second of it as we can. But as you can see, no one's put a lap time yet down. We're 1 minute 30 to go, and here we go. The first lap times are starting to come in now, and it is Area Motorsport who takes up first place. Or as I say that, Mr. Salt jumps ahead of him, and T-Mac in second place. So you can see the lap times here at 1 minute 38. Not much time left for our racers to get these lap times in. So, Higgs Boson yet to post a time. Who else? Seb H yet to post a time. Roy Klopp's yet to post a time. Jimmy Tulipan yet to post time. So some really good racers who have still not managed to post a time yet this evening. But maybe they're just going to come from the back of the grid and surprise us all. But Mr. Salt currently leads the leaderboard at the moment with a 1:38, not a bad time, and he's going to be probably very happy with the closing stages of qualifying coming to an end now, to get himself up the grid, because we do see Mr. Salt in and around the right areas when it comes to race day, but hasn't quite featured highly as he'd probably like on a Sunday, although on a Thursday of course performing very, very well in the Noob Gamers Championships. But could this be his night? Of course you can stick with us here on Twitch to find out as we bring you all of the action. We see someone off the track there. Say lots of forgiving corners here where you can go off the track and not have any walls to contend with, unlike we saw last week. But yeah, here we go. Once again, it's race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships, and hopefully we can see what happens. So yeah, Mr. Salt still doing well at the top of the grid. Let's see, and not long left, it's just 100 seconds now left. Let's see if he can hold on to that for the rest of qualifying. No, it doesn't look like he hasn't. So he's down to third now. T-Mac and Drux, of course, finally posting a time, gets himself straight into second place. So some excellent racing from Drux there to get himself up. But T-Mac, of course, leading the way. Really good driving from him, really solid time as well. So it looks like he could be another favourite for the racing this evening. So T-Mac in first, is Drux in second, Mr. Salt in third. We got Captain Callie in fourth. Jimmy Tulipan's got himself up to fifth, finally posting a time. Bibby in sixth. Area Motorsport down in seventh after being an early leader, with Sev H in eighth. It's Don Tito ninth, Higgs Boson in 10th. So a few seconds left to go. Let's see if anyone else is going to break the top 10. I'm just doing my final promotion for the stream this evening, because we want as many people joining us for all the action, of course. Although I am going to have to lose this hat in a minute, because it's slightly frustrating on my head with the old microphone. But in the closing stage, obviously T-Mac's done his race, and there we go. So we should get a quick final confirmation of the standings. So T-Mac first, Drux in second, is Mr. Salt in third, Captain Callie in fourth, Jimmy Tulipan fifth, Bibby sixth, Area Motorsport seventh, Sev H eighth, Don Teasel ninth, and Higgs Boson gets himself a top 10 place for this first race. Remember, just the top 8 racers will get points in this initial sprint race. Just 9 laps this evening, I beg your pardon from earlier, just 9 laps this evening rather than 10 what we saw last week. Wheels McGee, thank you for joining us in this hastily arranged stream, but hey, we're still here, we're live, we're ready to go. But yes, welcome Wheels McGee. Hopefully you can stick around and watch all the action with us. So we're just waiting for the official confirmation that this race is going to be started as the racers get themselves set. As we kick off the sprint race, just 9 laps for these cars to get themselves sorted for the race ahead. So, you know, not a lot of time at all. So it is going to be pedal to the floor job. But there we go. We're sinking in now. There it is, sinking on your screen. And we're going to be off. Let's see how this first corner does. So here we go. Drux going to battle T-Mac for first place, and it looks like he's done that. So Drux gets himself into first place, and Mr. Salt finds a way through to get ahead of T-Mac as well. So Drux in first, it's Mr. Salt in second, T-Mac in third. And really clean from the front three so far. We're just going to keep an eye on the back of the grid to see if there's anyone going off. It doesn't look like we've had anything so far. So some good driving from them. Drux takes a little bit of a shuffle there around that corner, but so far it's very, very clean, which, you know, I'm always very impressed with, considering what happens in these cars generally. But Drux done really well there to get ahead. T-Mac's just made his way up into second, with Mr. Salt in third. But so far so good as far as collisions are concerned. So let's head towards the back, back towards some of the races. We're on board of Aero Motorsport. He's got a pack of cars behind him, all vying for positions. It's Mr. Salt now is actually down to fourth position. He's attacking Aero Motorsport for third, and it looks like Aero Motorsport's taking a spin with Mr. Salt coming off as well. So Aero Motorsport's lost loads of positions there because of that spin. Let's see if we can bring you a replay of exactly what happened coming on your screen now. But really unfortunate there from Aero Motorsport, taking the spin, taking a couple of cars out with him in the process, and losing that time. But T-Mac and Drux have got themselves away. It's Jimmy Tulipan in third. So here we go. You should have a replay now of the spin from Aero Motorsport coming in now. So Aero Motorsport comes around the corner. Is there a little touch? Oh, we can't quite see it from that camera. We can't quite see if there's a touch from Mr. Salt, but even so, Aero Motorsport does take a spin off and loses his place. So Drux in first, going into the next lap. Is T-Mac in second, Jimmy Tulipan third, Bibby in fourth place. Again, a reminder of what the drivers can see. This is the cockpit view that the drivers can see throughout the race. So Captain Callie just in behind Bibby at the moment. So good field of vision generally in these cars compared to other vehicles we've seen on the stream before. But Captain Callie keeping a nice tight line in behind Bibby there. But let's jump on board back with the trackside cam just to see how this race pans out. So Drux and T-Mac got a nice early lead over third place at the moment. So the race is on for third place still, with the top two looking to get themselves ahead and keeping that distance between them. But third, fourth and fifth really close in, so it's only going to take a slight error from someone here to see how this pans out. But we're on board with Captain Callie. He's in fifth. He's just biding his time down there at the moment. As you can see on the screen, all these exclamation marks are telling me there's things going on, but all over the track there's things going on. But we want to try and stay towards the higher echelons of the standings if we can, purely because, you know, this is where the points are. But let's have a quick flick back down into Seb H. So Seb H's got a couple of cars in and around him as well, so I'm not sure who's gone off there. It looks like it might be VX or Sin, but we'll jump back on board with Bibby. He's pushing hard to try and get ahead of Jimmy Tulipan. It looks like he's got some decent pace coming out of this corner. Of course, you can use the slipstream in here this evening to get themselves ahead. But thank you for joining us. It looks like T-Mac might be making a pass. So we're on board with T-Mac quickly, and he doesn't quite have the pace. Let's jump straight on board with Chase Cam and see how this battle's going on. So a little bit of wide action there from T-Mac, and it looks like Drux has now got a little bit of breathing space. But it looked like T-Mac might have had the pace there to get ahead, but didn't quite make the most of it, and Drux manages to keep himself in first place. Jimmy Tulipan's actually catching the top two as well, which is, you know, really impressive driving, and because of those three really battling for it, all three of them are catching really, really well. The distance between first, second and third was over 2 seconds, and that's now down to under a second, with Jimmy Tulipan racing really, really well into third place at the moment, right up behind T-Mac. So he's done really well, you know, with the fights that he's had for third place, to drag himself up towards the leaders here. So really interesting battle towards the top of the grid, and it looks like Jimmy Tulipan's trying to find a way through from T-Mac. He's really, really close, right up behind T-Mac at the moment, and there could be an opportunity for a pass soon. Looks like he might go for it here. No, not quite. I thought he was just going to pull out and make a pass, but doesn't quite do that. As we were speaking there, I really appreciate the follow from Ruben Koopman. any follow, any subscribes, even if you guys are just watching at home, we really appreciate it on the channel. But Ruben, big up yourself for the follow, really appreciate that. As I'm trying to keep on board with the action as well as my screen on the left. Lots of stuff going on this evening, and it looks like there was a little touch there. Drux, we've got 3 cars all going for it into this first corner. It looks like Drux has still got the lead, and yes, he has, and Jimmy Tulipan's nearly lost 3rd place there, but Jimmy Tulipan does hold on for 3rd place. So really good driving there from all 3 of them, and it looks like T-Mac's going to make a pass again. So T-Mac's going down the inside. Has he got the pace on him? Into this corner, Drux has gone a little bit wide, but he has got the inside line, so no, Drux manages to hold on to 1st place. So this battle for the top end of the grid is really hotting up. You can see the distance between the top 4 cars is less than a second at the moment. So it's only going to take one little error, one little mistake from one of these drivers, or of course an excellent piece of driving, to see some real change to the top end of the grid, as T-Mac does get on the inside again. Is he going to sustain it? No. Drux again manages to get the pace and keep T-Mac at bay. So it's a really intriguing battle here for 1st place, with Drux fending off the ever so advancing T-Mac, who is just pushing him all the way. He goes out wide again to try and take him, and Jimmy Tulipan's also coming up by him, but I think he might have just done it this time. It's really close going into this corner, and T-Mac just about holds on. So as they go down this straight here, Drux manages to get his nose in front, because he has of course got the inside line going into this corner. T-Mac tries to go down the outside, and it's Jimmy Tulipan making an attack on T-Mac as well now. So these cars, as you can see now, the top 5 cars now, there's less than a second between them. As Drux goes off the track slightly, nearly opens the door for T-Mac, but T-Mac staying hot on his tail here. He's going to try and pull out, but Drux pulls across here to try and block it. These 3 really going at it. Jimmy Tulipan tries to cut inside as well, and T-Mac's got the inside line again and does take 1st place. So some excellent driving there from T-Mac, and Drux down into 3rd. Jimmy Tulipan manages to take advantage of that little slip from Drux as well, so he gets himself into 2nd place. But you can see how close this pack is with all these drivers now. Don Titor down in 6th joins the fray. We've got Seb H up there as well. We've got cars all over the shop, really fighting for this 1st place, which is fantastic to see for us here. So Jimmy Tulipan in 2nd, just in behind T-Mac. He looks like he's going to try and make a move. Oh, not quite from Jimmy Tulipan. Didn't have the inside line, so T-Mac regains that place. But Drux is really attacking here to try and get back to the top. But as you say on the chat wheels, it is hot at the top. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars all going at it, and we just simply have to stay on board with this action, because you remember, top 8 cars here get in the points, and 7 of them are all vying for the 1st place position at the moment. So the gaps are slowly starting to open up. Jimmy Tulipan tries to make a manoeuvre on T-Mac, doesn't quite do it then either, but he's really hot on the back of T-Mac as well. Loving the heads gone emoji in the chat from Wheels McGee. But Jimmy Tulipan's so close to T-Mac now. Let's see if we can jump on board with Chase Car. That's how close it is between the races at the moment. This is the view Jimmy Tulipan will have in the cockpit, and he is so close. So if he misjudges these brakes from T-Mac, you know, because of how close he is, he could end up square into the back of it. Who knows what's going to happen? But we'll jump back on board with the trackside cam so we can try and keep an eye on all the action that's around us. But yeah, it is all go here at the moment. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. As I do that, Jimmy Tulipan nearly loses a position, but keeps Drux at bay in 3rd. So it's T-Mac in 1st, Jimmy Tulipan 2nd, Drux in 3rd, Captain Callie in 4th place, Bibby in 5th, and Seb H in 6th, with Don Titor in 7th at the moment. Now, Don Titor and Seb H have fallen off this chasing pack at the moment, so it looks like there's 5 cars. We've got a little bit of sideways action, and a wheel has been lost. Drux, no, he's lost a wheel, and we've also got a collision there going in. I think it was Seb H going into the back of Captain Callie. Drux unfortunately lost a wheel in its entirety there, so it looks like his race is done. Really unfortunate from Drux though, who finds himself, I mean, he's not even on the list. He might have actually just left the race in its entirety, but that little nudge there from, not sure who it was, but Drux loses a wheel. We should get a replay of this coming up now on our screen. So you see Jimmy Tulipan, Drux in 3rd place, at the moment. Comes around the corner. I think it was Captain Callie. Let's just check that. Yeah, I think it was Captain Callie who gave him a little nudge, makes him lose a tyre. So Captain Callie in the naughty books in 6th place at the moment with a little bit of action with Drux, which costs Drux the race. But T-Mac still in 1st, Jimmy Tulipan in 2nd. Bibby has got himself up to 3rd with Seb H in 4th and Don Titor in 5th. So some really good racing from everyone so far, with maybe the exception of that little incident we saw with Drux there. But it looks like for the remainder of this race, Jimmy Tulipan is going to push T-Mac all the way to the wire here. And it is go, go, go here for this 1st place position. So thank you for joining us live on Twitch here this evening. Apologies, the suit has not made it on this evening. I do look like an absolute wreck this evening. It was a last-minute decision to stream at all. I am feeling slightly under the weather, but I wanted to make sure we brought all the action live to the people who wanted to watch it, regardless of how I'm feeling. So apologies, I'm still even in my my coaching gear from my football earlier on today. So I just thought I'd jump straight on. But yeah, we're on board with Jimmy Tulipan. Bibby in 3rd, although he's slowly catching the pack as well. So we could see, with the amount of time left, maybe a 3-horse race. What does it mean when the position icon is red? Good question, Tub Thumper. That means they've got a race penalty. I've not wanted to flick onto these penalties yet, because of course it does do this and it gets in the way of the screen slightly, but you can see the penalties here. So Aero Motorsport's got a 1-second penalty, VXR Thrasher's got a 3-second, Sin's got a 2, and Art and Benner down in 11th with a 2. So that's what the red marks mean. It is for race penalties. Which will of course affect the final standings. But Jimmy Tulipan, you can see how close he is here, and he might have forced T-Mac off the road nearly there. That's how close. You were probably on my camera as I probably lost a tyre while you were talking. Yes, indeed we were, Drux. So yeah, unfortunately, Drux, yeah, we did see that little nudge. From what we saw, it looked like a nudge from Captain Callie, which made you lose a tyre. We did see a replay on the stream earlier on, but Jimmy Tulipan's going to go for it here. Tries to make an early manoeuvre on T-Mac into this next corner. Hasn't quite got the pace again, but he's pushing T-Mac all the way. We see a little bit of a lock-up there, but Bibby, as we said earlier, he was catching, and he has joined this race for 1st place now. But yeah, certainly was bad lucks from Drux. Bad lucks from Drux. Yeah, really unfortunate, as you were doing really, really well. But we're still on board with this race. With not long left of the race to go. The top 3 are really going at it. It's Seb H in 4th, Don Tito in 5th. They're quite far behind at the moment. But unfortunately, we are not going to take our eyes off this race for 1st place, because this is, of course, where maximum points are. As you can see from the yellow exclamation marks on the race director screen, there are other battles going on around the track. But this is where the points are. So we do want to keep on board with this where we can to try and see how this pans out. But so we're going to stick on board with Jimmy Tulipan, who's in the middle of this T-Mac and Bibby sandwich for the final few moments of this race. And T-Mac so far has done really, really well to hold off the advances of Jimmy Tulipan. Bibby now amongst the action as well, slightly off the pace as Jimmy Tulipan just goes off the track slightly there. But we've seen some excellent racing from these guys so far between these two, nice and clean. And hopefully that remains for the rest of the race. But I thought Bibby was going to make a little move there on Jimmy Tulipan. These 3 are so close, and as I said, if someone goes late on the brakes or early on the brakes and doesn't read what the other person does, we could see some sparks fly. But Jimmy Tulipan making a move here. He's managed to nudge in front of T-Mac going into this next corner, but unfortunately for him, the corner bends the wrong way, so he hasn't got the inside line, which gives T-Mac the opportunity to attack back. And he does, and Bibby's gone down on the inside as well, so Bibby's making an attack for 2nd place. But again, the corners have not been kind to him, doesn't quite have the angle to keep there, but we nearly saw Bibby up into 2nd place there, but Jimmy Tulipan holds on for 2nd with T-Mac still in 1st. Seb H in 4th, just behind, and Seb H is again slowly catching. I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to catch this chasing pack, but these 3 are going to go at it all the way to the end of this race. It nearly looks like we've got some touching of the wheels going on there, so close, but Jimmy Tulipan has not got long left to make a manoeuvre here on T-Mac. He's going to have to choose his moment wisely, or he might just settle for second place and snap up second place points, of course, but we shall see. So it looks like Bibby's attack on first place is over for the time being, as he drops behind very slightly. But here we go, the fans are cheering, and the race is complete. So T-Mac holds on to first place. It's Jimmy Tulipan second, Bibby in third, Seb H in fourth, Don Titor in fifth. And as they cross the line, it looks like Captain Callie's made a last-minute manoeuvre and got himself up to sixth. Area Motorsport down in seventh, VXR Thrasher eighth, and that's, of course, where the points stop. Let's jump on board with Ayrton Ben, who's currently in 12th place. He's just in behind Higgs Boast at the moment. Doesn't manage to make any gains there. But there we go, ladies and gents. So it's T-Mac in first, Jimmy Tulipan second, Bibby third, Seb H fourth, Don Titor fifth, Captain Callie in sixth, Area Motorsport 7th, VXR Thrasher in 8th. That is the race complete. We do, of course, have some penalties. So let's see if this is going to affect things. Area Motorsport's got a 1 second, so he's okay. VXR Thrasher's got a 3 second. But again, I don't think the distances between those guys are going to affect too much. But yeah, really good racing, as you point out. Johnny One Note from the top 3, excellent racing. And obviously Drux, yes. Let's see how you get on in, of course, the next race, which is the feature race this evening. Much longer than the sprint race. Qualifying coming up in about 30 seconds by the looks of it. Well, that's when it will start getting set up, of course. So there we go. We're just waiting for the final confirmation. The final car's just to finish going around. Let's have a look towards the back of the pack, and Roughneck 1 makes his way over the line. And here we go. Let's get confirmation quickly. So it's T-Mac first, Jimmy Tillman second, Bibby third, Seb H fourth, Don Titor fifth, Captain Caddy sixth, Area Motorsport seventh, VXR Thrasher eighth. It's Sin in ninth and Berserker in 10th. But remember, just the top 8 places get points on the board. So let's head back to the studio and dissect that one. Excuse me. So, race 1 of the evening has been completed. That was the sprint race. Just 9 laps for the racers to get to grips with, and T-Mac takes first place. Some excellent driving from the top 3 there. T-Mac in first, Jimmy Tulipan second, and Bibby in third. Some really, really good driving. Thank you for joining us on the Twitch stream this evening. As we said earlier, a little bit late to the party. It was a hastily arranged stream. We didn't think we'd be streaming at all this evening due to illness, but we've made it. We're here. We're bringing you all the action. So, apologies again for being very ever so slightly late. But I, for one, am just going to get rid of this cap because it's fucking annoying. There we go. So much more comfortable. Haven't donned the suit this evening because of time constraints. Still got me coaching gear on from earlier on in the day. But let's have a look in the lobby and see how. So the drivers are just getting themselves ready for the next qualifying session now. So we're not long away from there. But yeah, let me know what you thought of that first race. Some excellent driving. You should also show the results of the bottom races. Everyone did their best and also deserve a mention for tied time. No, you're very right, Birdsong. That is a very good point. I think we, as much as possible, we do try and show as many races as we can. But, that race for the top 3 could have gone either way. So we just had to stay on board with those 3. But yeah, normally in the feature races, we get time to look down the rest of the pack and see how everyone else is doing, but we just could not keep our eyes away from that race for the top 3. But we will, of course, try and show some more races in the feature race coming up. So just looking into the lobby now, we've got 23 racers in the lobby, which they're all set to go. But I think we're just having a really minor break just for a few people to grab a drink, get themselves set. Of course, if this was a real race day, you wouldn't just jump straight into the next point of the race. But yeah, let us know your predictions for the feature race that's coming up now. Who do we think is going to do well in qualifying? Who do we think is going to win the race? Any thoughts? Welcome. Of course, it'd be difficult to look past T-Mac for the win because of the quality shown so far, but you never know. In these cars, anything could happen. but it looks like I'm just keeping up with the chat here in the lobby, and there's certainly a little bit of debate, let's say, over the Drux incident. Obviously, you guys at home were watching it just as I was. Captain Callie suggesting that there was no contact, with a few others suggesting there was. So personally, it looked like there was contact to me from what I saw. If you guys saw the same as me, you know, let us know in the chat what you thought of that incident. But yeah, they seem to have kissed and made up in the chat now. But hopefully we're not far away from starting qualifying for the feature race, which will of course be double in time from the sprint race, which was of course only 5 minutes. So we should have a 10-minute qualifying for the race ahead. And once again, thank you for joining us here on the NoobGamerzLive channel. As we just wait for the next portion of the race. Normally on a Sunday I am joined in the commentary box. I'm not normally riding solo, but as we said, this was a hastily arranged stream this evening. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I've got my Vapor Up, I've got my Lucozade, and we're all good to go. And the countdown timer has started for qualifying, so let's bring you all the action from qualifying now. So here we go. There's another little look at the track. Let's see the length there. We've got the amount of turns. We're just light cloud again here in Germany at the Hockenheim National. For race 3 of the Noob Gamers Championships. And this is qualifying for the second race of the evening, which is of course the feature race. You can see at the top of the screen, 10 minutes in total to get themselves sorted. T-Mac making his way out of the pits now. But here we go. Took loving the top, hashtag CRFC. Indeed, Took. Like I said, normally my attire on the stream is a lot better than this. You can see actually the suit jacket here on my chair. This is what I'm normally rocking. But of course, yes, Cotswold Rangers is my amateur team I am a part of. Rocking some of their merch this evening on the stream, giving them a bit of a shout out, mainly because I didn't have time to get myself changed. But as we say that, we have a big hello from Burex, who has also dropped us a follow. Burex, I'm going to go with Burex. I think that sounds about right. Really appreciate you joining us here this evening. He says, go Jimmy Tulipan. Jimmy Tulipan, of course, just came second in the first race. Some excellent driving from him. He's going to be really, really happy with that. And obviously, if you're here to support him, I'm sure he will appreciate that going into the feature race. But let's have a look at some of the other drivers, as Bertelsen pointed out earlier. Higgs Bosun, of course, a partner of T-Mac. We got Roy Klopsy still in the pits. We have YX out on the track at the moment. We've got Roughneck 1. Artem Benner, if you remember from last Sunday, who absolutely screamed through all the races, won both of them in the end. Some excellent driving from him. You know, new to the Sunday stream, wasn't able to make race 1, but flew into contention in race 2, winning both of the races. That did really, really well. We got Seb H, we got Drux, who unfortunately in the last race had that little incident and lost the tyre. We got Mad Knife, of course, a loyal racer to the Noob Gamers channel on a Thursday. We've got Langalang, we've got Bibby, we've got Siaski, we've got Berserker, we've got Jimmy Tulipan, we've got Sin, we've got Captain Callie, we've got Area Motorsport, Cheeky One Smack, Mr. Salt, Callie, Don Titor and T-Mac. I think there might even be a few more than that, but it only lets me go down to 22. Let's have a look on the old time and see if we have anyone else. Nope, just 22 this evening. But here we go. So we're seeing who's going to put down an earlier time. We're just waiting to see who's going to make the first move on the grid. It did take a good 4 or 5 minutes last time, you know, nearly the whole of qualifying for the sprint race for the times to start flying in. But let's jump on board with a crowd favourite. Let's see if he's here. Here he is. Roughneck 1. The man, the mystery. Oh no. The commentator's curse kicks in. And unfortunately, Roughnet 1 takes a spin, and that lap time isn't going to quite count, I'm afraid. That time will be invalidated. But again, just a reminder of what our racers can see. So, you know, normally in the cars they're a little bit more claustrophobic than this. They've got obviously the windscreen or the roof, loads of stuff going on. Whereas this evening in these Formula Rookie cars, it's very, very open. Excuse me. So we've got the first times coming in now. It's Jimmy Tulipan leading the way with Higgs Boson in third now as Bibby pips him to second. So the times are coming in thick and fast. So I'm going to stop reading out just for a few more seconds to see if anyone else pops in. But wow, it's changing quite significantly at the moment. So I'm going to just butt in now and hopefully it doesn't change too much. But it looks like it's Seb H taking the early lead with Jimmy Tulipan second, Captain Cali third, T-Mac in fourth, Bibby in fifth, it's Mr. Salt in sixth, Berserker in seventh, Higgs Boson in eighth, Drux is ninth, and YX in 10th. We've got VXR Thrasher in 11th and Mad Knife in 12 as the only people to post a time so far. A few more coming in now. Aero Motorsport joins the fray, and Langalang also posts his first time of the qualifying for this feature race. So 14 races so far posted at a time, but it is Seb H who leads the way with Jimmy Tulipan in second. And as Baruch says, way to go Jimmy. So a really good start from Jimmy, who of course came second in the sprint race. And currently in second in qualifying for the feature race. So a very, very good start from him. So let's see, you know, there's still some good races to put some times down. We've got Artem Benner yet to put a time, Roy Klopp's yet to put a time down, you know, Sin, Cheeky One Smack, Don Tito, you know, it's really good races still yet to put a time down. Berserker in 10th at the moment, so he's in the final position for the points, should this be, of course, the race standings. But Seb H doing really well so far in first place position. Higgs Boson into second now, so some excellent qualifying driving from Higgs Boson to pip Jimmy Tulipan into second place. So Jimmy Tulipan drops down into third. VXR Thrasher's also jumped right up to fourth with T-Mac down to fifth. So VXR Thrasher, who we spoke about earlier, was down in the double figures, has jumped straight under fourth. So some really good driving from him. Let's see who else can join the fray. So we've still only got 15 drivers to post a time at the moment. But still, just under 4 minutes remaining for everyone else to get their times on board as well. I'm sure we're going to see some movement in the standings as Area Motorsport posts a decent time and gets himself up to third. So the race for qualifying is certainly hotting up, and it's so important to get yourselves ahead this early in the race, because of course, if you do start towards the back of the pack in qualifying, you're going to really struggle to get through the pack potentially and make an attack on the on the podium position. So qualifying for the feature race is very important, and everyone going out here. And we've got 4 members of the 137 club so far. Haven't seen anyone attack the 136 club yet. That would be some phenomenal driving to do that. But the race winner, down in 7th at the moment, is T-Mac. So he's got some work to do to catch up the rest. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't post a 137. As I say that, posts a 137, gets himself up to third. So T-Mac in third place at the moment. Higgs Boson down in 5th, just popped in there with a time. And Berserker up to 4th. So some really good driving from Berserker to get himself up the pack as well. Jimmy Tulipan, though, has taken the lead of Seb H with a 137.1, knocking on the door of the 136 club. So some excellent driving from Jimmy Tulipan to take the lead there. Excuse me. So, not long left to qualify. Just over 2 minutes remaining for our racers to snap up the all-important position. Squirrel Merle, I mean, that's a great name in fairness, comes in with the cheers. I'm hoping you're one of the racers, and that is in relation to one of my comments. Otherwise, that is completely out of the blue, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But ding, 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 ding. Area Motorsport, the newest member of the 136 Club, to take first place from Jimmy Tulipan. So excellent driving from him there in first place. So at the moment it's Area Motorsport in first, Jimmy Tulipan second, Seb H third, T-Mac fourth, Berserker in fifth, Mr. Salk down in 12th. We've got Drux down in 11th. Of course, you know, had the unfortunate incident earlier, losing a tyre to what we think was a collision from Captain Callie, from what we saw on our screens, but I'm sure it'll be confirmed once we look back at the replays at some point. But nearly everyone's posted a time now. Just Roy Klops and Siaski, who are just in the pits at the moment, yet to post a time, so I don't think they're going to have the time to do that now, unfortunately. But as I speak there, we've got some new members to the 136 Club. T-Mac gets himself into third place, Area Motorsport second, and Jimmy Tulipan gets himself into first. So some excellent driving again from Jimmy Tulipan. So this qualifying's going all the way to the death. Apologies for the condition of your race commentator this evening. I am doing my best to stop spluttering and coughing all over this microphone. But yeah, really good qualifying session so far from these guys. Let's see, so I don't think Roy Klops or Siaski is going to post a time now. They're already in the pits. With 20 seconds left on the clock, are we going to see any last minute surges on this top three? Let me know in chat if we think Jimmy's going to finish in first place or whether he's going to be pipped to the post at the very last minute. But thank you for joining us here. If you've joined us live on Twitch, your support is of course always I haven't joined the league fully yet, but I'm in the Steam group. Okay, cool. Hopefully Squirrel Merle, I mean I love that name, rolls off the tongue. Hopefully we'll see you in one of our races in the future. That would be cool. You know, we always like to see new races on the channel. Drux in the pits now. T-Mac gets himself up to second place. Not quite enough to knock Jimmy Tulipan off of first. But with qualifying over, it looks like Jimmy Tulipan is going to take first place unless anyone in these really final closing stages can do anything to stop it. But it looks like qualifying complete is on for everyone now. I don't think anyone else is on their hot laps now, as you can see the pace of these cars, although YX actually got some pace still, so YX still going for it. Could we have a late challenge here? Who knows. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us this evening for another race. This is of course race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships. You can of course drop us a follow if you like what you see this evening. If you get annoyed with all the Twitch adverts, there is of course the option to subscribe to the channel, which of course helps us out. Or just sit back, relax, enjoy watching the stream, stay tuned in and enjoy the action. That's all the options really, unless you know anyone can think of anything spectacularly different to that. I mean you could donate, but I mean that would be silly, wouldn't it? Why would you want to just chuck money at us for me sitting here ill commentating on some racing, eh? But Artem Bennett excuse me, still out on track. Berserker in 9th, we've got Higgs Boson in 10th, and that is it. The qualifying session is over. And it looks like it's a pole for Jimmy Tulipan. So Jimmy Tulipan first, T-Mac second, Bibby third, Area Motorsport fourth, Seb H fifth, VXR Thrasher sixth, Don Tito seventh, Artem Bennett eighth, Berserker in 9th, Higgs Boson 10th. As we look down, if we've got time, it's Mr. Salt 11th, Captain Kelly 12th, Drux 13th, Mad Knight 14th, Sin 15th, YX 16th, and Cheeky One Smack in 17th. And for the race ahead, we do have, of course, ladies and gentlemen, some beautiful rain, which I'm sure is going to cause havoc. Let's have a quick look at the cockpit view of T-Mac here. That looks disgusting weather to race in, which I'm sure is going to play absolute havoc with our races this evening. So rain is on the cards in cars made of matchsticks, and I'm sure we're going to lose a few tyres along the way. But let's get the trackside view on. As we said, yeah, heavy rain indeed. Some lovely views from the cameras of this rain coming down on the track. So we're just waiting for the races to sink in now. Yeah, Roy Klops and Siaski leading the back. So if we just have a quick look at what their view is ahead, look at that. They've got a lot of cars to get through from the back. Already you can see the rain starting to pool on the track. You can see the rain hitting the screen as well. So a long way from the front is Siaski down in 22nd. But yes, Captain Callie getting a shout out on the stream in 12th. So again, mid-pack, cars ahead, cars behind, anything could happen. So we're just waiting for everyone to ready up, and you should see sinking come on your screen hopefully shortly, and that will spell the start of the race. So here we go. Here we go. And we're off for the feature race this evening. As Jimmy Tulipan makes his way in first position, gets a really good start. You can see the water flicking off those tyres at the moment. So nice and clean from the top three into that first bend. No major collisions of note so far that we can see, although we can see a lot of cars coming around this corner in the background now. Jimmy Tulipan's done really well to get away in first, as Area Motorsport gets himself up to second and Bibby in third. So some excellent driving there from these guys. You can see the rain splashing out. Let's just jump on board quickly with Chase Cam of Area Motorsport. This is what you can see in the cockpit. Bibby just behind now. You can see the water all over the drivers' faces. So really difficult conditions to race in this evening. Jimmy Tulipan doing really well to get ahead. Bibby in third at the moment. Area Motorsport second with T-Mac just behind in fourth. And it's Seb H in fifth with VXR Thrasher in sixth. So nice clean getaway from all these races so far. We are underway for the feature race this evening of race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships, and Jimmy Tulipan leads the way in first place position. The pack is starting to form, although you can see the spray from the tyres makes it really difficult for us at home to see who's racing. But Bibby in third at the moment, so we're on board with his camera at the moment, just because he's in the middle of this little pack here, which, you know, we want to try and keep an eye on the races either side. I thought we might have had a little nudge there. The cars were so close. It looks like Seb H has made a manoeuvre down the inside. Doesn't quite have the pace to maintain it. No, not quite. So Seb H still remains in fifth place. It's Jimmy Tulipan first, Area Motorsport second, and Bibby in third, as lap 1 comes to a completion of race 2 this evening, which is of course race 3. I'm going to have to come up with some new terminology for how we describe this. But Area Motorsport makes a move on Jimmy Tulipan. Unfortunately, that was just outside of the camera. But Area Motorsport up into first, makes a great manoeuvre on Jimmy Tulipan, gets himself into first place position. You can see there in the background T-Mac making a move on the inside, trying to get himself up the pack as well. Doesn't quite manage to do it. He actually drops down to fifth as Seb H pushes his way up towards fourth place. So he did really well there to not only fend off the advances but actually gain a position as well. So some fantastic racing from these top 5 races. I think the top 6 races, you could say. So Jimmy Tulipan qualified first in second place. Race 2 of the third round. Yes, that's probably the best way to say it. It looks like we had a little bit of sideways action there from Jimmy Tulipan and Bibby going into that corner, but they both managed to keep it on the straight and narrow. So some really good racing from them. But once again, we have this pack forming towards the top of the grid, and lots of cars. And I, for one, am nervous. I think nervous is the right word to say, because in these conditions, I really hope we don't have someone ahead of one of these packs taking a massive crash or a massive spin and us losing a load of races. But let's jump on board with this little race going down for the final few positions of the points, which is, of course, the top 10. Berserker's in 9th at the moment, Mr. Salt in 10th. Mr. Sultan, of course, got that tiny little bit of red on the car. Drux leading that pack at the moment in 8th place. So he's got a battle in his hand from all the cars behind him to try and keep in the points this evening. You can see we are starting to get the gaps forming amongst the races at the moment. So we've got our head pack, which is Area Motorsport, Jimmy Tulipan, down to VXR Thrasher. This is the view he's got of all the action ahead of him. He's just biding his time, but you know, with the water you can see coming up from the cars in front, it's really difficult for him to see exactly what's going on ahead, because you know the spray from the cars is pretty much all over the shop. You can see the cockpit view from Bibby here. He's really close to the action. In 6th place at the moment is Artem Benner's made a great move up into 5th place, having qualified down in 11th or 12th. So he's going to go down the inside of Bibby just now, just to make sure he maintains 5th place position. But he did, of course, win both races last week. So we know he's got the ability in these cars, but we haven't seen him perform very well so far this evening. But he's obviously just saved himself for this final race. So excellent driving from Artem Benner so far. So it's Area Motorsport in 1st place position at the moment. It's Jimmy Tullapan 2nd and T-Mac in 3rd. But it looks like Area Motorsport's getting a decent gap, nearly a second. There we go, just a second now gap ahead. So he's slowly making his way away from the pack, which is good for him. But the rest of the cars not far behind as they push Area Motorsport all the way here. But there's still plenty of time to go. If we head back towards the other pack at the moment, Mr. Salt doing well. He's in 9th place at the moment, ahead of, again, a mini little pack. Berserker just ahead of him as well. So Druck's now down into 10th place, so he's lost his place at the top end of that pack. So we do have a really good battle on our hands. As Druck's, you can see there, just left of the pack, going well wide on that corner. But it looks like, we've got the top 6 cars, or 7 cars, got a nice lead. We then got a gap where we've got probably 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 all in a little line, all battling out, and just behind them in 13th place with a gap either side is Mad Knife. So we do have someone off the track there though. So Mad Knife up to 12th, and it looks like it was Don Tito. Yes, it was. So Don Tito losing a place there into 13th. But let's have a look back towards the top of the grid. So it's Jimmy Tullapan 2nd, still T-Mac in 3rd, Seb H 4th, and it's Artem Benner in 5th, with Bibby in 6th, VXR Thrasher in 7th. So you can see some small gaps starting to form now between this top pack. Looks like the top 5 cars are quite close. I could even say the top 3. They're slowly getting a little gap, these top 3, as they battle each other. We've got Artem Benner's gone wide there in the background, so that might cost him a place. But T-Mac's made a move on Jimmy Tullapan, so T-Mac gets himself up to 2nd. Is he going to hold it into these next few corners? Yes, it looks like he is. So some really good driving there from T-Mac to wrestle back 2nd place position. Area Motorsport still in 1st place, doing really well. Got a little gap, a little gap we'll call it. Just although he is being caught very quickly. But oh, not sure who that was. Who have we lost there? Let's try and work it out. Area Motorsport completely off our camera that we were on at the time, but Area Motorsport was in 1st place and just took a spin into the barrier. But unfortunately, we were watching the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Area Motorsport, that little gap just off a camera, gets smashed into the barricade. So really unfortunate there from Area Motorsport. And unfortunately, we didn't quite see what happened on the cameras that we had. But Centre Mid, appreciate you joining us here for race 2 of round 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships. T-Mac getting a little bit ahead of himself now, nearly a 2nd gap, but Jimmy Tullapan going wide, and that's surely going to let people in. And yes, it does. So Artem Benner into 2nd place. Seb H also making a push on Jimmy in 3rd, and that wide corner that Jimmy Tullapan just took there is surely going to cost him if he continues to drive in that manner. But obviously the pressure is slowly starting to tell on Jimmy as a little bit of erratic driving comes into play there. But fantastic battles we can see so far, as Berex points out. It looks like T-Mac's got himself a healthy lead so far, but Artem Benner done really well in 2nd place as well. and we've seen some fantastic racing here this evening, some really close driving from so many races. You know, it's unlike streaming on a Thursday and on a Sunday, remember. We've never probably seen races this close to date. So it's excellent to see some really good racing towards the top end of the grid. Jimmy Tulipan in third at the moment, trying to make an attack on Arten Benner, and it looks like he is going into this next corner. He's managed to get the inside. Arten Benner comes across. Definitely some contact there, and Arten Benner goes a little bit wide, manages to salvage second place position. It looked to me like there was some contact there. And yes, Barex, we do have another championship on a Thursday, the Noob Gamers Championship, which is currently, we've got race 2 coming up on Thursday, and that is a touring car championship. Every Thursday evening and every Sunday evening, we bring you live racing from Project Cars 2 from around 8 PM UK time. So, you know, every Thursday, every Sunday, plug yourself into the Noob Gamers Twitch stream, and we'll bring you some live racing. Someone's spamming caps. Don't know who that was. Atomic Natalic has been spamming. Naughty in the chat. So some fantastic racing. It looks like Jimmy Tulipan's going to make a move on Arten Benner here. Manages to get his nose in front. Although he was on the outside of the corner, still manages to get ahead of him. So some really good driving there from Jimmy Tulipan to actually take a position around the outside of the corner with Arten Benner on the inside, but Jimmy Tulipan manages to take back second place. So excellent stuff from him. But let's just look at this pack. So we've got Bibby in 5th place at the moment. We jump on board with Chase Cam. He's going to make a move on Seb H going into this corner. They are neck and neck. Nearly saw a bit of contact there. Bibby unfortunately went a little bit earlier on the brakes than Seb H and was lost the opportunity to attack. But yeah, really close from Bibby there. Barrett says maybe it's a free slot on Thursday in the Touring Cars League. Not at the moment. The league is underway. It's only a 4-week league, of course. So still plenty of time for, you know, we try and do is have a regular league season on a Thursday for 4 weeks. Then we have a couple of off weeks with some one-off races, which anyone can just jump on board and get stuck in with. We are nearly done with our website, NoobGamers.com, and we do have a Discord channel, which you are more than welcome to go and join. I'll try and see if I can post the invite to the Discord channel later on in the chat after the race, perhaps. But yeah, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join the Discord channel to keep up to date with all our racing, which of course we bring you twice a week, every Thursday night and every Sunday night here on Twitch. Blasotto says T-Mac to slow down. Yeah, if only that was the case, but T-Mac, unfortunately, you know, for the rest of the races, is slowly getting a gap on everyone else. So he's currently ahead of the pack by over a second, but the race is still on down towards the back end of the top 10 positions as well. So it's Mr. Salt in 8th. He's getting attacked, and it looks like we've lost Area Motorsport from the chasing pack in 1st place. I've just noticed he's down to 9th place so far. So as we were looking towards 1 and 2, we've lost Area Motorsport. I know, of course, Area Motorsport took the spin earlier on. He did make some gains, but has actually found himself down to 9th now. He did drop down to 6th or 7th. But as we were on board with that battle there, we've lost T-Mac. So T-Mac has obviously taken a spin. Let's see if we can jump on board with him quickly. Where is he? He's right down in 11th place now. So unfortunately, trying to keep up with all the action here on the channel. And T-Mac, we missed, has taken a bit of an error or spin or not. We're not sure what's happened. We'll try and get some reaction after the race to what's happened there. But Jimmy Tulipan now leads the race with Arten Benner in 2nd. It's Bibby in 3rd, Seb H 4th, VXR Thrasher in 5th, and Drux in 6th. So T-Mac, for the time being, out of the top position. So really unfortunate for him. But of course, Barex, if you want to keep up to date with everything we do here on the Twitch channel, so please keep on board with the races, feel free to drop our Twitch channel a follow. turn on notifications, and you will get a notification every time we go live for you to catch up with all the action. Voodoo curse on T-Mac, it wasn't me. Well, Blasotta, you did join the channel and instantly said get T-Mac to slow down, and lo and behold, as I say that, Jimmy Tulipan has taken a spin. So Jimmy Tulipan gives up first place with that spin, and it's Artem Benner into first. So unfortunately for Jimmy Tulipan, who's now down in fifth, he's lost again. But you have to say, probably an opportunity for podium positions. Rob, thank you for joining us. Good evening to you, my friend. Thanks for coming back. And Noob Gamer Jimmy has popped onto the channel to say hello as well. Hello, Jimmy. As our discussions went earlier, I have made it just. Definitely, as the stream's gone on, my illness is getting, I'm on a downward spiral, and I'm sure after this I'm going to go straight to bed, but never mind. But as I say that, it looks like we've lost Jimmy Tulipan. He's down. Oh no, we lost Jimmy Tulipan earlier. Who else did we lose? I saw someone else drop off there. Who was it? There's me trying to concentrate on too many things at once, and I've missed who it was. But yes, hashtag man flu. Indeed. But anyway, we're still here. And it's Artem Benner who leads the race. VXR Thrasher has come through the pack and is in second place, although he's just been taken back by Seb H. So we've not spoken a lot about VXR Thrasher this evening, but qualified really, really well. And up to third place at the moment. Jimmy Tulipan slowly making his way back up the pack, as Burex points out, up into fifth place at the moment. T-Mac down in 12th, so hasn't made any gains on his area earlier. But Bibby going really, really wide on the corner there and loses his opportunity to attack. So we're down to a 3-car race for first place position. As Crichton Alpha joins the Twitch channel as well. It's a good evening to you, Crichton Alpha. Really appreciate you joining us here. So we're on board with VXR Thrasher, who's in third place at the moment. It's Seb H in second and Artem Benner in first. If we look towards down the lower regions of the race pack, Drux is really trying to attack Jimmy Tulipan in fifth. So Jimmy Tulipan's going to have to drive really, really well to keep on board, and the rain is over, as Burex points out. The track is slowly starting to dry now. There is, of course, a mandatory pit stop this evening, which is required. So they may well need to come in to change their tyres anyway. But when they do that is, of course, up to the drivers. And oh no! Trucks again! Oh no! We saw in race 1 this evening, Drux have some contact from Captain Callie. And again, he's found some contact and has lost a tyre again in race 2. Oh, you've got to feel so sorry for Drux. Twice this evening, he's lost a tyre through some contact. Unlucky. We are going to get a replay of this coming on the stream now. Let's see who it was. Oh, there it is. I think been Mr. Salt, maybe? Oh. Yeah, big shame though for Drux. He's going to be devastated with that, and it looks like we've lost him from the race entirely. It's Jimmy Tulipan having all sorts of problems, down into 7th now. Well wide on that corner. But yeah, it's all kicking off here, ladies and gentlemen. It is all kicking off. So we're on board with Seb H. He's trying to make an attack on first place, which is Artem Benner at the moment, but it doesn't look like he's got the legs to make an attack on that at the moment. But let's join Don Titor at the moment. He's going to overtake Jimmy Tulipan, who's gone into the pits. Area Motorsport will do the same. Berserker will do the same. Roy Klopp's up to 5th place. Now remember, Roy Klopp's qualified in 21st position and is up to 5th place. So Roy Klops, we've not mentioned him at all, really, with the exception of saying he was qualifying really, really badly. He has snuck his way up the entire pack and gets himself up to 5th place. So really great driving from him. We've not had a pit stop from T-Mac at the moment. We can see Lang and Sin going in so far. But yeah, Roy Klopp's, we're going to stay on board with him at the moment because he's pushing Bibby in 4th place as well. So some excellent driving from Roy Klopp's, and let's give him a little round of applause for his efforts so far. To come from 21st position to 5th is some unbelievable driving. But yeah, thank you for joining us here live on Twitch. It was a hastily arranged stream this evening. Although we try and bring you race action live every Sunday, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but the show had to go on, and race 3 had to be brought live to your screens, to your mobile phones, to your PCs, however you're watching us here this evening. So I apologise in advance if you've just joined us, and every now and again I go and take a drink and try and sort my voice out. But Roy Klopp's up to 4th as Bibby makes an early pit, so he's decided to get himself sorted. Appreciate that, Rob. I just couldn't. I was sat there almost over thinking, I feel really rough, but I also, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I know people will want to watch it. I don't want to let them down, so I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to grin and bear it, and then go and stick my head in a bowl of vapor rub afterwards, and that'll sort me right out, I'm sure. But Roy Klopp's unbelievable Jeff, you have to say, and he's pushing 3rd place now. So, I mean, we've stuck on board of Roy Klopp's to see how he's going. I wonder whether, because he... my guess, theory... I'm going to put this theory out there as Roy Klopp gets himself into 3rd. I'm guessing... maybe. I wonder if he'd have enough time to do that. I wonder whether because he pitted so... He qualified so badly. I wonder whether he either made an early pit stop or he actually went with... different tyres to the rest of the pack and just thought, you know what, F it, let's just stick on these tyres and go. But you can certainly see he's got a lot more pace than the other racers around him at the moment, and he is flying through the pack. So remember, the top 2 have to pit. I wonder whether Roy Klopp actually does have to pit, but hey, we'll have to see. But yeah, VXR Thrasher in 3rd. Mr. Salt's got himself up to 6th place now, and he's making an attack on Don Titor in 5th. As we look down towards the rest of the pack, Jimmy Tulipan down in 13th. He has, of course, pitted. T-Mac down in 10th now. They were, of course, 1 and 2 from qualifying earlier. But as Barek said, time for slicks. Jimmy Tulipan, nice weather and so nice race. Jimmy Tulipan, thank you for joining us on the Twitch channel. I know you're currently racing while you're in the pits, popping us those messages. And a really unfortunate spin for you earlier. Crichton Alpha says true professional, Ryan. Well, the true professional is here, but I've had to don the football attire that I was wearing already. I haven't made an effort for you guys this evening, unfortunately. But yeah, Bibby down in 12th at the moment. He has of course pitted, so he's got an opportunity to start catching the rest of the races up here. Now, again, my lack of knowledge of Project Cars 2 might come into play here, but Bibby's tyres are gold on the inside. So are Roy Klopp's tyres gold on the inside. Whereas some of the rest of the races, they've got black there. I wonder whether... Yeah, so I'm just looking around. I wonder whether that's an indication to the types of tyres that they're using this evening. Which might give us the reason as to why Roy Klopp's is so much faster. Maybe, as I said earlier, he just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to put on these tyres. I'm in last place anyway, and then really start making my way through. And it seems to have worked. He's up in 3rd place at the moment. A big bowl of Wolfies. Trevor Hammett, bowl of Wolfies, yeah, maybe. We have one hella juicy race here, lads and gents. Atomic, thanks for joining us here this evening. Rob says your stream, that's a big effort. Thank you very much. And Barek says, excellent drivers here. You are right. We are seeing some excellent drives here. If you are new to Project Cars, this is the director suite. If you do see a yellow exclamation mark pop up here, it does give me an indication here that they might be an overtake. So every time those pop up, I do try and flick onto those where I can. But yeah, as you can see, we've got one here, but that's because VXR is in the pits. So Mr. Salt goes past. T-Mac here is making his way up the pack, so he's fighting YX. So let's jump on board with Chase Cam and see how this plans out. Seems to be a lot of love I thought T-Mac was going wide there, but it was actually just YX jumping in the pits. So T-Mac gets himself up into the 9th place, but shout out to Jimmy, the legendary boy. Jimmy Tulipan certainly got a lot of love on the stream this evening from you guys watching at home. Trevor Hump, who won the first race? That is, of course, a great question. It was, of course, T-Mac who we're on board with now, with Jimmy Tulipan in 2nd place. But T-Mac, we didn't see from the camera work we had at the time what happened to him. He was leading this race by a decent margin, and then all of a sudden we saw him spiral down the pack, and unfortunately, lost that battle out. Jimmy Tulipan, yo guys, I'm Jimmy's girlfriend and number 1. Fair play, you come here to support your boy. I like your work, really, really good. His girlfriend is a legend. I wonder whether we've got a little bit of banter going on between those guys this evening, but hey, they're all here for Jimmy. We'll jump on board with him now, see how his race is going on. So you can see the track starting to dry up now, but Jimmy Tulipan down in 11th place so far. Not doing bad at all, but let's jump on board with Mad Knife. Mad Knife starting to catch VXR Thrasher in 7th. So Mad Knife up into the points, you remember, is the top 10 this evening, who will receive points from this race. So we can see some pit stops from Roy Klops and Don Tito in 3rd and 4th respectively, and Mr. Salt in 5th. So the pit stops are starting to come in now. We still haven't seen Arten Benner or Seb H pit yet, so they've still got to get themselves in the pits and out before this race is over. But yeah, Berserker takes the opportunity to go up into 3rd place. He has got a race penalty of only a second. The VXR Thrasher with a 10-second penalty, which, really, really harsh. So he's, click the wrong one, where are we? VXR Thrasher, there he is. So he's in 4th place at the moment. He's got a 10-second penalty, so that could cost him places come the end of the session. But down towards the back of the pack, Cheeky One Smack looks like he's going to try and catch YX. So he is slowly starting to gain on YX there. Although, as I say that, he goes into the pits as well. So Cheeky One Smack into the pits, T-Mac into the pits as well. But we're yet to see our race leader, Ayrton Benner, still not pitted. So I can only imagine he's not got the right tyres on the car at the moment. But, doing okay in 1st place, unless he's took a big gamble and went for different tyres. Of course, we're not privy to this sort of information. We can only we can only guess. Crichton Alpha says Salty's going for slicks. Good to know. Barex, of course, the race is not over yet. But yeah, Jimmy Tulipan 3, which of course isn't the man himself, says that it's a good and exciting race so far, of course. But yeah, Jimmy Tulipan up into 10th, and it's Captain Callie in 11th. So T-Mac down in 17th place because of his pit stop and the error. Or what I say, we don't know what the problem was with T-Mac earlier. Squirrel Mirror, I think they are running default setups. I don't think you can change the tyre type. Well, sure, I mean, again, this is where my lack of knowledge of the game comes into play, but surely you can choose your tyres at least, rather than just the car itself. But hey, I'm sure someone can confirm or deny this when you've got default setups, and whether you can change the tyre types. But let's jump on board with Roy Klops, who's in 5th. He's catching up BXR Thrasher, who holds 4th place position at the moment. We've seen some excellent driving from Roy Klops this evening, who qualified, don't forget, 21st position. Roy Klops qualified and is up to 5th place. So excellent driving from him so far. So we'll stay on board with him as he catches VXR Thrasher at the moment. Less than, let's say, we're down to half a second now, so driving really, really well. VXR Thrasher, remember, has a 10-second penalty. So even if this was the final standings, Roy Klops would actually finish ahead of him because of the penalty that's been put into play. But yeah, Rob has confirmed you can change the tyres. That's what I thought. It seemed a bit harsh just to force everyone onto a tyre which they might not want to go with. But yeah, you just can't, of course, change the rest of the setup. VXR Thrasher keeps telling me about spending most of the week tuning. good question. Maybe I'm getting confused with the Thursday stream. Maybe it's defaults on Thursdays and anything on Sundays. I'll have to try and find out. My head fuzz of illness is not assisting my memory this evening, unfortunately. If you'd have asked me this last Sunday, I was on it, dressed in the suit, kitted out. But this evening, I'm afraid, it is a very lapse effort from me this evening, which I have to apologise for. But at least we're here and at least we're live, as Roy Klops makes his way up to 4th place. So a great manoeuvre there on Berserker, in VXR Thrasher, sorry, in 4th to take 4th place position. So really, really good driving from him. But it looks like VXR Thrasher's going to attack back and take 4th place back. So this battle is going to go all the way to the wire. We've only got a lap left, not long at all, as Roy Klops goes well wide. I assume trying to make an avoiding manoeuvre there, but does get himself up to 4th place position. VX just tucks in behind. I thought he was going to try and take the inside line there, unless he's talking about practicing, and I'm hearing tuning. Who knows, Tub Thumper, who knows? We're getting towards the end of the stream, the end of the race, and, you know, as I said, my memory is not aiding me this evening in my current state, but I'm sure next Thursday coming up and Sunday I will be fighting fit. I'll have a co-commentator as well, and we'll be all guns a-blazing on the Noob Gamer stream once again. But while I've been talking, Atomic has dropped us a follow, which is very, very much appreciated. And Barux as well earlier on, I think I might have missed that, dropped us a follow as well. So really, really appreciate that. Sin, unfortunately, the pit crew didn't change his tyres again. But importantly, sorry Sin, I'm not saying it's not important. We've got the top 3 cars all in the pits at once. Ayrton Benner gets away in 1st, Seb H in 2nd, Berserker in 3rd. Roy Klops coming down the pit lane now. Is he going to come out ahead of them, which would be incredible scenes from Roy Klops if he's managed to pull off this sort of manoeuvre, but it doesn't look like he does, no. But Roy Klops, who qualified in 21st position, still managed to hold on to 3rd place. So really good driving from him, but Artem Benner and Seb H using that last lap to get in their mandatory pit stop. And unfortunately for Seb H, doesn't manage to get the march on Artem Benner, who continues in 1st place. So it looks like, unless anything crazy happens towards the end of this race, it looks like Artem Benner is going to win this, with Seb H in 2nd and Roy Klops in 3rd. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to VXR Thrasher. Remember, he's got a 10-second penalty. Don Titor just behind him at the moment. Mr. Salt down in 6th, so that 10-second penalty could cost him. Jimmy Tulipan's got himself up to 7th, Captain Callie in 8th, Berserker in 9th, and Bibby in 10th. T-Mac down in 17th. He was, of course, the winner from the first race. He's not going to get a chance to get any points. Area Motorsport for a while in this race was leading the pack. He's down in 11th, so again, might not have enough time to get himself in the points either. But let's stick on board for the final few corners of Artem Benner's race, as he should, all being well, nothing crazy happening, bring home the win in this feature race. He did, of course, win both races last week. And here we go. Round of applause for Artem Benner. Crosses the line. And it's a win in the feature race for Artem Benner, picking up the full 25 points towards his tally on the standings for this Formula Rookie Championship. Seb H in 2nd, Roy Klops in 3rd. Don Titor and VXR Thrasher are going for it towards the end of the race, but remember, VXR does have that 10-second penalty, so he's going to cost himself there. Mr. Salt's crossed the line in 6th. Jimmy Tulipan just caught him there, crossing the line in 7th. It's Captain Callie in 8th. Berserker in 9th, and Bibby, is he going to hold on for this final place here? Yes, it looks like he does, so he gets top 10. So well done to all our racers who have finished the race so far. There's your top 10 confirmed. We will wait to see if the penalties have played any particular part in the final standings here, but Artem Benner, fantastic racing from him this evening to take the checkered flag and the full 25 points. Excellent, excellent stuff. Rob says, well done to all the racers, especially the noob guys. of course, as time goes on, Rob, all of these races become Noob Guys. We do, of course, stream every Thursday, which is the Noob Gamers Championship on a Thursday. We stream every Sunday, which is T-Max Championships. He brings us on a Sunday. But yeah, that is pretty much it by the looks of it. As our last few races come over the lines, a cheeky one smack there. T-Mac down in 16th place, coming over the line with Higgs Boson just in behind him here. Let's just see if we have a little bit of action towards the end of the race. Is Higgs going to go for it? I don't think they probably care that much towards the end. The original Noob Guys then, yes, maybe that's the better way to say it. But here we go. We should get confirmation. Artem Benner first, Seb H second, Roy Klops third, Don Tito fourth, VXR 5th, Mr. Salt 6th, Jimmy Tillepan 7th, Captain Kelly 8th, Berserker 9th, and Bibby in 10th. As I'm just going to quickly save the replay. I always like to keep these just in case there's anything to look back on. Let's have a look down the rest of the pack quickly. Area Motorsport 11th, YX 12th, Mad Knife 13th, 14th Langalang, Cheeky One Smack 15th, T-Max 16th, Higgs Boson 17th, Sieski in 18th, Cali in 19th, Roughneck 1 in 20th. So there we go. There's the final standings of our feature race as we head back to the studio. Wow, that's going to be the first word I use to sum up that feature race. Area Motorsport was leading the way and he took a spin. Jimmy Tillepan was up there. He took a spin. Drux was attacking the pack. He lost a tyre. It all kicked off, but it led to Artem Benner taking the checkered flag and winning race 2 of round 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships. Wowzers. I'm going to ask you guys on the chat now for your racer of the evening. I know who I'm going for, but I want you guys to let me know who you thought should deserve. We've not done this before, but I'm just curious to see what people say. Who do you think was the racer of the evening there? Some excellent driving from so many people. Artem Benner, Johnny One says, Rob says Bibby, Trevor Hump says Roy Klops. I mean, say it quietly. I'm going to go for Roy Klops. Psst, Roy Klops. So there you go. You've got my my racer of the evening. Just qualifying 21st, coming third. I mean, unbelievable, Jeff. Let's have a look, see who's knocking around in the chat. We will, if you're new to the stream and you've not seen us before, we do try and bring you the post-race reaction with some of our drivers. So let's see if we can jump on board and have a chat. So let's see who's knocking around for a chat still. Let's see. Roy Klops joins the channel, says thanks. Rob, yeah, my bad. Roy Klops, epic race for him. Was indeed. So let's have a look on the Steam chat. Roy Klops, let's see if we can grab a word with him. Is he around on the stream? I know he's on the. Can see him on the Twitch. Roy Klops, get yourself back in the channel. We'll have a word with you on the Twitch. Come on, Roy Klops, get yourself involved. We want to have a chat with you. If there's anyone else you want to hear from this evening, let us know. We will try and bring you an interview with them. But no, Roy Klops saying no. Why not? Come and tell everyone about your fantastic race. But never mind. But let's see who we must be someone we can grab a word with. We're going to jump in the Area Motorsport channel. We've got Area Motorsport, Bibby and T-Mac all in there at the moment as we bring you some post-race reaction. So, some unbelievable scenes on the track this evening, and we are going to jump into the Area Motorsport channel to try and get some live reaction from some of the races we've just seen in the race. In this lobby, we have Area Motorsport, we have Bibby, and we have T-Mac. T-Mac, of course, is the race organizer, and we have to start with you, T-Mac, doing so well from race 1 into race 2, and unfortunately, we lost it on our camera. What happened?
I ballsed it up. I just hit one of the puddles at turn 1, and I just sent it into the hedge, and ruined my suspension, and that was that. And I was in the pits for like 1 minute and 12.
Oof.
So
nasty then, nasty.
Frustrating.
What I do have to say from the Seedings race, both races in fact, we have seen major issues with these cars and their fragility. It doesn't take much for them to get damage, but I have to say, all the races I've seen in, barring one or two collisions, which is inevitable, we're not going to have a wholly clean race. Everyone racing really, really clean on the whole, which has to be commended.
I thought that was really good actually. Like we in the first race, I think we had 7 of us, super close, which is it's good to see. Like I think we are getting there. It's not going to be perfect, but yeah, it was good fun. It was really good fun, and hopefully a good stream.
Yeah, I think as well as you said, in that first race especially, you had that pack of 7 at the top of the grid, all going for it, which ended up being I think it was you, Jimmy and Area Motorsport in those closing stages, the final 3 in the end. But all the way in that race, it was really, really close. And obviously the second race seemed to stretch out a little bit, although Area Motorsport, was not Area Motorsport, sorry. Art and Benner did manage to get away with it in the end and win the race. But yeah, generally, considering the fragility of the cars, I've been really impressed with how everyone's driven.
Good to hear. This is what I like to hear as the organizer. Standard of driving getting a bit better, which is nice. So good stuff.
Yeah, the only thing you'll have to be worried about is Drux. I imagine won't be a happy bunny. On 2 occasions, got some damage to his car through no fault of his own and lost the tyre on both. So I imagine you might be asked to look back on that one. But there we go. That was always going to happen, I think, given the nature of these cars. But unfortunately, it was the same person twice.
Oh dear. We'll have to have a look back and we'll investigate what went on.
But yeah, thank you for a little bit of reaction to the race. Well done in race 1. Obviously unfortunate in race 2, but it will of course liven up the standings going into the final race next Sunday.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it should be a good one next week as well.
Cool.
So,
right. Thank you very much. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. And
yeah,
we'll
you
see
too,
you
bud.
again
Thanks
next
for the
Sunday.
stream.
Cheers.
Yeah, take it easy, man. See you later.
So there we go, live reaction from T-Mac. As he said, just ballsed it up, hit a puddle, lost traction, binned it into a hedge, and that's why his race was over. Took too much damage, wasn't able to maintain his attack on the top. But there we go, ladies and gents. Let's head back to the studio. I don't think there's many people knocking around in the chat. There's a big old general with lots of people in it. I don't want to barge my way in there and start speaking to a load of people because it could get a little bit messy on the stream. But let's head back to the studio. So there we go. We're in the NoobGamerzLive studio. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. It was a bit of a rush job this evening, to say the least. We weren't going to stream at all in the end because I'm feeling a little bit rough, let's say, but we went for it, we got involved, and I'm sure you'll agree it was well worth the effort, as we saw some fantastic racing in both race 1, the sprint race, and race 2, the feature race. Great driving all round. It really livens things up for the final round next week, next Sunday, where it'll be round 4 of the Formula Rookie Championships. On Thursday, don't forget, coming up soon, we have race 2 of the Noob Gamers Championships, which is of course the touring cars. We'll be coming live to you at 8 PM UK time on Thursday. So Thursday and Sunday, remember, we stream live every single week to bring you all the action. Let's have a quick old look at the chat before we leave the stream for this evening. Elpkin is Berserker, of course. I forgot to change his tyres. So frustrating there, I imagine. Trevor Hunt says, well done, looking forward to Thursday's race. Thank you much, Trevor. I'm looking forward to Thursday as well. Barek says, great race. Thank you for joining us this evening, Barek. Hopefully you can stick around on a few more streams and get involved in a race in the future. Yes, Discord link. Let's see if I can grab that up now while I'm here. How do I do this? Server settings. Where do I get my invite link? Invites. I'm such a noob. I'm not even can I generate a Discord link? Invite people. Here we go. Copy. Oh, I'm brilliant. Boom! There it is. there's a link to our Discord. If anyone wants to come and join in and get involved in the chat, you're more than welcome to do so. Lots of good information on there, lots of races. There's a few different channels, such as a channel to talk about your setups, there's channels to talk about all different racing. So yeah, get involved basically, and join the Discord, come and chat to the racers. I'm in there, which is something to do. I can have a chat every now and again. But yeah, loads of great races in there and give you lots of tips on your racing as well. So come on, jump straight in. Squirrel Murrell has just popped us a lovely little subscribe using Twitch Prime, which of course is free with Twitch Prime, but you only get to use it on one streamer every month, and he's chosen it to be us this month. So Squirrel Murrell, really, really appreciate that. But that is it for us this evening. Oh, we got there in the end. We did it. We got both races done. Some great action brought to you guys live at home. As ever, all the follow, subscribes, or even if you just sat back, relaxed and watched the stream this evening, we really appreciate all and every support that you give us. We will, of course, be live again on Thursday at 8 PM to bring you the Touring Cars Championships. But for now, we've been the Noob Gamers. I've been your host this evening, Ryan. And I will be bringing you all the action on Thursday. So enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully see you all again soon on Thursday. Peace out.